Hmm. Welcome to the Fantasy Thinker. Yes, that is right. We have a little name change here in the channel. Apparently, the YouTube algorithm doesn't understand irony and doesn't get play on words. So, this is our new name, the Fantasy Thinker. I'm Jared Quartermatch, and this is a channel update today on what I'm reading right now and what we plan to do in the future here. And so, to start right off, I am in the middle of The Bone Hunters, the sixth book in the Malazan Book of the Fallen. And this is the reread for me. I'm rereading all the Malazan books, including SM1 stuff, and I'm doing it in publication order. Uh, and I'm enjoying it thoroughly. It's even better the second time around. I'm understanding a lot more things that are coming into play, and I'm just it's my favorite series of all time, and I'm loving it. So almost done with Bone Hunters. And so I'm also reading January. It's The Curse of the Mist Wraith, Book One in the Wars of Light and Shadow. And I gotta say, I am thoroughly enjoying this book. I'm taking my time with it. I really love her writing. I think it's eloquent, and I think it's very classic in style. And I'm really taking my time to absorb everything that's going on in this book, and liking it a lot. This is really really good fantasy. So I'm glad to be reading that, and I'm also reading. Uh, I do this all the time. I never read just one book at a time. I I'm always spread out like this. So forgive me if that messes with your senses a little bit, but that's how my wacky brain works. So I'm also reading Stephen R. Donaldson's The Killing God. It's book three in the Great God's War. This is a new release, just came out in November. I always read everything new by Donaldson. I've kept up with him since the 80s, and I have always loved his writing. And This is the third book in the series, A Great God's War. It, in typical Donaldson fashion, the first book in the series gives you that limited, very limited point of view where it's from one character's point of view, and the scope of the world is limited, and the character's point of view is limited, and in turn so is your point of view. And then in the second book of the series, he does what Donaldson does best. Boom, he explodes that point of view into a greater, wider world. And so far in this third book, he increases that even more, and also increases the intensity of everything going on. So I'm really enjoying that as well. Also, I am reading on a monthly basis Robin Hobb's Assassin Apprentice, the Farseer Trilogy, Book One. And I'm doing it chapter by chapter in sequence with the release of Dark Horse Comics adaptation of Assassin's Apprentice in comic book form, monthly comic book format. And so far, there's been two issues released, and those issues have lined up almost exact with chapter one and chapter two in the novel. We'll see if that continues as we move on month to month. As the issues come out, I will be going over the comic versus the prose every month, and that's been a joyride as well. I'm really getting into that. It's fun. So that's what I'm reading right now. What I have read also is I finished this the other day, Kindred, by graphic novel adaptation written by Octavia Butler, and adapted by what's it, Abrams Comics or something like that. So this was I have never read the novel. I just read this graphic novel, and I gotta say it is a powerful read, very emotional. Um, and I plan on doing a review of this. I hope in the near future because it deserves the that kind of attention. Um, and I also finished before I started Bone Hunters. I also finished Ian Esselmont's Night of Knives. I'm hoping to do a review on this one too. Um, Awesome book, and that's just it's Mal's. Uh, as a little fun read, I got Dio Holy Diver. This took me about 20 minutes to read. It's really fast. A little graphic novel. Um, Growing up in the 80s, for all you metal fans out there, Dio was the guy, especially if you liked fantasy, because he had a lot of fantasy themed stuff in his music. And that is obvious by the translation into a little fantasy adaptation of one song on the Holy Diver album. So this, it's a quick read. The artwork is by Scott Hampton. It's kind of done in a painted, yeah, it's a painted artwork. So it looks very classical. And this deals. I don't know if if anyone recalls the cover of Dio's Holy Diver album. It has a priest in chains in the water, and the chains are held on to by the Murray characters, kind of like a looks like a kind of like a demon with horns. Although in this book, he might be a kind of a dragon. Yeah. So um, this story follows the viewpoint of a priest, and he's kind of a jerk. So the story follows his viewpoint, and he kind of the consequences of being a jerk, basically, uh, is what the story is about. So you can probably guess what happens to him. But neat little thing that I found because I love Dio's music, so I had to pick that up, and that was cool as hell. All right, and so what I'm also going to be reading in the future. After I finish one of these novels, I am going to pick up Stoner by John Williams. This was based upon a whole bunch of recommendations from everybody here on YouTube, on BookTube specifically, that say they love this book. Not fantasy. This is contemporary fiction, I think. And we'll see about that. I can always find something. I can always find something that's fantasy. So we'll take a look at that, and I'm looking forward to it because I have read my fair share of nonfiction and contemporary fiction as well. But so that is the channel update from now on. I hope you like the new name, and I hope you like and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Keep thinking.